Hi, fellow Toolboxers. Welcome to episode 271 of an Immigration Lawyers Toolbox podcast. It's going to be a fun one today. I want to do this regularly. Probably it's going to be a monthly if we get around to it. But we're talking with Nadine Heitz, who not only is a great immigration attorney located headquartered in Florida, but she also is really into tech. She has a Facebook page on it, and she's always trying to advance efficiencies in her practice through use of technology. And so we have a large discussion about the apps and stuff she uses too. It's really good for everyone to listen to this kind of stuff. Using tech is, this year I really focused on getting it, a lot of different technologies, online apps and software, if you will, and paying the extra for like different team members to get it. Whereas a few years ago, or last year, I would have been like, do I need to add this person to this one because it's additional so much money? But I kind of belligerent with that. I just got everything. And in one sense, it's good because, well, one bad sense is more expensive, especially when you buy an annual plan. Also, to get hit. Like August, I did this. So next August, when the 1 year renewal comes around, I'm gonna get hit with a bunch of renewal fees. I'm like, oh snap, thousands of dollars all of a sudden got hit in 1 month. But having said that, it just makes it easier for them to access things, to edit it, to get into it. So it's an important thing to do. There's just so much different stuff, but we narrowed it down some important stuff that we use in our office. So I think you're gonna like that. And speaking of tech, congratulations to DocuWise.com. Ayla's survey that they do every couple of years about how much incomes and the software people use and stuff like that came up, and DocuWise turned out to be, according to their analysis statistics, the #1 used software for immigration off law firms. So that's a big jump up from where they were the last survey 3 or 5 years ago. Congrats to them. DocuWise is a sponsor of the show and Immigration Lawyers Toolbox magazine. They've been very helpful in getting this information for the show out. Check out their website and get a feel for it, and get 10% off your annual plan by going to DocuWise.com/immigration-lawyers-podcast and using the code Immigration Lawyers Podcast to check it out there. If you we have a lot of law students listening, so if you're a 2L and you want to get an internship or something like that at law school, hit me up and send me a resume, and maybe we get you in on helping out at the office a little. It'd be fun to kind of help people get credits and stuff by learning more about immigration law. If you haven't already, like and subscribe and leave a positive review on iTunes or all the other kind of places you might watch this, maybe Spotify or Audible for Amazon. It helps get the info out, so definitely leave a good review. Much appreciated. The conference is coming together. We got a lot of students who signed up, and the speakers are coming along. If you go to the website, Immigration Lawyers Toolbox.com, or just ILT.com. I got the domain. No, ILTbox.com. They have taken ILT already. So ILTbox.com, and you click on the postgraduate courses, because this is postgraduate study, in my opinion. We have lists of them. We have, great attorneys that you may have seen at other conferences, but they're going to do even next level kind of teaching. Flavia Lloyd is coming. Santos Lloyd, she's great. Ron Madden is going to be there. Dave Malik Telfer. We have several other people. We're going to interview them and write a lot of stuff about them to show the caliber of people teaching it. So not only if you have your own firm, but let's say you're a solo practice, you can learn this additional area, O1 visas, at the conference in LA, in Santa Monica, really, on February 24th, Friday, February 24th, 2023. But also, let's say you're a partner at a firm and you do removal and stuff like that, or family, and you want to get into it, you don't have the time to learn it, send your associate and have them pick up this skill set of the O1 visa, and they're not going to regret it. You're not going to regret it. So having said all that, I want to remind everybody it's not legal advice here. It's intended for individual advice only. We're talking about tech, so that part doesn't really matter. But I think that's all the stuff we got to talk about in the intro. So let's get started. Hey, Nadine, so happy to have you on the show again. I always love having you here. You fill us in about so much tech stuff, which is wonderful. But before I start, you're in Florida. How are things going over there?
Pretty good, pretty good. Luckily we escaped the hurricane, but everything I'm seeing over on Fort Myers is so scary because I keep thinking that could have been us. We're on the coast side where we're on closer to West Palm Beach and
Yeah.
Miami, and we just got really lucky.
Yeah, I couldn't believe seeing the map that just crossed over the state like that.
I
I didn't think it
know.
happens. I didn't realize that's a possibility.
I know. So thankful for that.
Have prices gone up? Like, is gas prices really high now because of it?
I really haven't noticed it here. I haven't noticed it here at all. So hopefully it'll be okay.
Mm. Well, how's your practice going in general? How's the summer treating you and going into fall right now?
Yeah, really good, really good. I'm working hard on everything. I'm trying to do a lot more social media, which is a challenge always, right?
Yeah.
And it's going good though. You get to the point where you do start to get a lot more referral business, which is really nice. Clients coming back. We still do really well with our online presence just from local Google recognition. So, we're not really paying for any ads right now, but we're doing well with just local searches.
That's real good. And one thing you do so well that we could talk about is just handling the case flow that comes in, because
Right.
especially how many documents we need. It's
Oh my God.
control.
Documents is, yeah, that's the biggest pain point in any immigration attorney's career, I find.
So fill us in. Have you done? Have you started any new tech stuff? We're going to talk about we talked about this before with PyFile and what you use there, the system that you have. But are there any other new tech stuff that you're researching or thinking about?
I've just really worked hard to make Pipefile work even better for us. So when I first started using it, basically for those who don't know what it is, it's what I call a document collection tool. It does not require your client to have a specific login or password, which I really like. It's not like a client portal. I feel like we're also overwhelmed with passwords and logins. So this is more a secure link that is sent to your client via email or text that they can click on, but it's unique to them. So I've worked really hard to customize my templates in Pipefile. So I now have a template for every single case type that I do, and I have it in English and in Spanish. So I can just, in literally like seconds, just send out a client checklist that is electronic that we can monitor online.
Well, two questions. One is, if you have a case where they have divorce, like you have, let's say they're not divorced, but do you automatically ask for divorce certificates, or do you fine tune it? How do you deal with that? Because each case is slightly different.
Yeah, so I include everything that could possibly be required in my checklist. So I will have, and the nice thing about this is you can explain what you need for every item you are requesting. So I'll have one section that says, divorces, and it'll have us an explanation saying, if you were ever previously married, please provide your divorce decree or death certificate of how the marriage ended. So if the client was never divorced before ever, then they can just click not applicable.
Oh, interesting.
And they can move on.
And what kind of cases does your firm handle?
Sorry, what
you have high files for and stuff?
Yeah, what kind of cases do I usually handle? Was that your question?
Yeah.
Yeah, mostly family-based, although I am doing some E2 visas, and of course there are the occasional changes of status and things like that, the occasional student visa, but mostly family-based, mostly adjustments, which then of course turn into I-751, removal of conditions, that turn into N-400s, that turn into sponsoring their parents, and they just go on and on. I love those cases.
What kind of timelines are you seeing for adjustment cases in the different field offices in your area, or the case?
Yeah, we're still taking quite a while. I find there was a time period that it really was speeding up, but now I'm seeing things taking a little bit longer in my jurisdiction, which is West Palm Beach area. But again, what I have noticed very, very recently, now that we're in the month of October, which is the USCIS end of the year, right? Their year end is October. I don't know if it's because of that, or I don't know if it's because the upcoming elections in November, but they're suddenly churning out Nats interviews like crazy. Are you seeing that too?
I didn't have any Nats cases in this current time, but that is their policy generally, that in years of elections, they push out the Nats. I've had even say that before. And I think that's what's happening, because I've had adjustment case in LA that are getting done in 3 months last year. And then all of a sudden it hit a snag. Now it's like 6-9 months, still no interview. So I think they're just moving officers to push the Nats cases along. Because I'm like, why did it slow down? It was so good, or it's happening so fast, and everything just stopped.
Yeah, it was so fast, and then it suddenly slowed down again, and now I'm feeling it's getting a little better again. So let's hope, keep our fingers crossed that continues.
Kind of I had a colleague refer to as one case for Egypt where the embassy there is denying renewal of passports for children whose parents were citizens. So The rule was that parents got green cards for the kids. They came to the United States. They're supposed to reside in the United States for the child to become a citizen. But
Yeah,
parents essentially came for a tourist visa, went back to Egypt, then got passports. And they got the passport. They renewed it once, twice. The third time around, the U.S. Embassy in the interview for the renewal asks, did you reside with your children in the U.S. or just come and go? And hundreds of families are saying, no, we just went, came back, and they're revoking all these passports from hundreds of children. And so I got one
wow,
of these cases, and I got two and a four, and
wow,
they're doing N600 case for them, and
yeah,
it's crazy. And the ones I filed where they said we're going to go to the field office in Southern California, 6 months, all we got is a receipt. But the Houston, this is like a secret tip for our Toolbox listeners. In the Houston field office, we'll get it, and within like a week, they'll review the documents, approve it, and then ask you, email you saying when you want a date for an interview. It's
wow,
so if you have an N600 case,
yeah,
and the family could afford to fly out to Houston because they don't, it's kind of random to get a hotel there or
yeah,
something like that.
yeah.
The office is spectacular for these
Wow,
cases.
that's really good. That's good. Yeah, it's interesting because I have done quite a few N600 cases lately. They do take a bit of time to get approved, but so far they've all been approved. But I always recommend to anyone who's just renewing passports and they never bothered to get the N600. I have seen this happen so many times where, they've been renewing their passport, no problem. And then all of a sudden, one year they enter into a problem, right?
Yeah.
Like your client did, right? So I always say, get the N600, get the
Right.
certificate of citizenship. That way, when you continue to renew your passport, you'll always have that to fall back on.
Yeah. I had a call once from a guy who's like, he should have got an N600 because his dad naturalized and became a citizen, but he just got the passport. He was in Puerto Rico and his passport expired, and there's no way to renew it for some reason. They're asking for proof, and he's like, I don't have
Right.
a nat cert. So he's like,
Yeah.
you're stuck all of a sudden. And I was
You're
like,
stuck. I had an adjustment case. They came to me just for the interview, and I went with them to the interview. But the U.S. citizen spouse became a U.S. citizen, but only renewed his passport and never bothered to get the certificate. Right? And the officer was like, "Well, unless you have a certificate, like I'm not
yeah,
approving this case." So yeah, so I always tell people, yeah, I know the filing fee is like 1170, right? It's
yeah.
ridiculous, but it's so worth it to get this. Usually it's a younger person, get
Yeah.
this for your child, get this for whatever.
It's annoying
It's
because of
worth
the
it.
fee. When they were redoing the fees, they said they're going to cut the fee for the N600 in half because it doesn't take that much work.
Yeah,
But it was one of the few things that they were going to bring down in price. So never ended up doing it.
they
But
never did.
yeah, the
Yeah,
price. I mean, get the CRBA at least or something like that. But it's so
yeah.
good to get that naturalization certificate of citizenship.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
surprised.
you
The
need
officer
that.
really. What happened? So did they put the case on pause until you got an N600 in, or did you
Yeah,
fight
you know what? They made a big deal of it at the interview, and then they wound up approving it anyway. So
it?
so stupid. But I was really worried because I said to the client, I said, look, you better think about getting your certificate because this could be a problem. And then
Yeah.
weeks later, they approved it. So we were lucky.
Yeah, it probably scared the hell out of him because
Yeah.
what are you gonna do? Yeah,
Yeah. Hopefully
imagine
he's gonna get
if
it.
they came on ESTA, they did it. If it's denied, is you don't get the second chance. So it's like it's
Right.
a mess. But you see these officers just change things up on you. Like I just one naturalist. I've been doing an adjustment case, but the marriage adjustment. But the petitioner was a green card holder and had filed for home naturalization, and they sent a notice of intent to deny for absences, and it was a 50-50 chance, and she responded, and then they approved it. I was looking at it, I'm like, there's no way they're gonna approve this.
Yeah.
But they approved it, so they just scared the hell out of her, and then she just repeated
Yeah.
what she had said at the interview, and then they approved it. So
Wow.
just
You
it's a
just
weird
never know.
situation.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So one thing is we're nearing the end of the year, and we starts planning on what you're planning on this year, what you're planning on next year. Any big thoughts that down the line of what your practice is going in 2023?
I'm just trying to really customize everything to just make everything more efficient. So I've been working really hard on my system that I use in Monday. I've been working with a lot of other attorneys to implement that system into their own Monday account, and that's been really fun. So, I do one-on-one coaching with other attorneys, and then they want to see what I've done. And when I show them what I've done, they're like, oh wow, like I want that, but I don't want to create it, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah, and it is but what I have realized is that it's a lot of work on the attorney side as well because they've really got to learn a whole new system. They've got to customize what I've created to suit them, right?
Yeah.
So we've kind of revamped it a few times, and we've made it into more like a 6-month training course, where by the end of the 6th month, we will give you all the Monday templates. We will put everything on your account. We will train you how to use it. And by the end of the 6 months, we will have tested it. We will have worked with you and your team. And, we just need to have the expectations such that they don't think they're going to be up and running in a month, because it's not going to be that fast. There's a lot to learn and a lot to customize.
I want to take a quick break to talk about our wonderful sponsor, immigrationevaluationdirectory.com. Did you know research reports psychological evaluations can increase an asylum applicant's chance of approval by 78%? Psychological evaluations are hugely beneficial in hardship, cancellation, asylum, and other types of cases. Connecting with qualified clinicians has never been easier, thanks to the immigrationevaluationdirectory.com. That's immigrationevaluationdirectory.com. Free to use. You can filter the directory by location, language, case type, and more. Then review profiles and reach out. The Immigration Evaluation Directory is where one-stop resource to find the best therapist to help. Check it out and learn more at immigrationevaluationdirectory.com. You're so ecstatic when you talk about the Monday.com system you have on Pipefile, but Monday.com in particular, that my team and I wanted to have your course and do it, but I'm like, we use Trello right now. I'm like, it took me so long just to figure out how to use Trello, and I still use like probably 30% of it. And I'm like, it's just a mental block to like just changing software.
That's the thing. That's why when I do my coaching sessions, I say, look, this may not be for you, but you have to be in the right mindset to devote the next 6 months of time to learning something new. So you're going to be using your old system at the same time, but don't think that I'm going to, set up this amazing system and you're going to use it immediately. That's what people want to do, right? They want to get it and they want to dump all their clients into the new system, and they just want to use it. And I'm saying, no, like I've realized through working with some other attorneys that it's a lot of training that they need. It's a lot of refining and adjusting all of the steps and the email automations and the language, because you're getting my language, but you may not like that, right? Like you may want to customize it to your language. So all of that takes time.
Just one thing, you obviously you're not a paid sponsor or anything like that. You're just a good friend who does good work.
Yeah, no. I mean, my partner in this project, who's an IT specialist for Monday, he actually has a Monday account that we recommend that people sign up through his referral. But yeah, I don't get anything from Monday. Of course, I am, selling my service, so I am being paid for this service, but I don't get anything really from Monday for it.
And so when you say it takes 6 months, like how often do you talk with? Well, how does the course work?
So it works such that we have modules that we've implemented. So module 1, you got to do all this. Module 2, you got to do this. Module 3, we got to do this. So I have kind of a whole team of a number of consultants that will work with myself and the lawyer to set everything up. And we've, kind of itemized it to various steps and customizing everything, because you're going to have a whole list of all your services put into a Monday board. You're going to have all of your contracts put into a Monday system. You're going to have your payment plans. You're going to have all your steps, all your tasks, all your email automation. So we give it all to you, but again, you need to customize it to make sure it's the way you want to manage your workflows. So we will work with the attorney to help them through sending them Loom videos. We have a training manual and all that.
Interesting. What other tech? You mentioned Loom, which I use as well for recording stuff. You got Monday, you use DocWise, and the other one was Pipefile. What other kind of tech are you using right now?
Yeah, we have actually a number of apps that integrate with my Monday system. So we have Calendly is huge for us, because everything really starts in Monday with a Calendly event. So for example, the client calls your office, right? It's not even a client yet. It's somebody who wants to maybe book a consult with you or screening or whatever. From the moment that they call, the person on your team, whether it's Smith AI, I happen to use Smith AI, or whether it's your own in-house receptionist, they will take the person's name, email, phone, and basically what they want. And they enter that into a Calendly appointment for a future either a screening or a consult or whatever you want to call it. And that's how they get entered into your Monday system. So everything starts with a Calendly link and it goes from there. So from there, you either book them for future appointments, you create your contract through Monday. I have an integration with Pandadoc. I don't know if you've heard of Pandadoc. It's kind of like Adobe Sign or HelloSign. Have you heard of Pandadoc?
I've heard of it because in the Facebook page you'll reference it. I use HelloSign.
Yeah. We're actually able to use a free version of Pandadoc because we're using it through their API, kind of through the back end. So we have an integration with Pandadoc where you can actually create your contract right in Monday through a Pandadoc integration. And then we have an integration with Stripe. Stripe is a payment processing system, kind of like Square. And we have it automated so that your payment plan, whatever you select in Monday, gets automatically created through Stripe. And all the invoices for the future payments get automatically created in Monday, automatically emailed and processed. And so it's like, I've been working really hard on what can I automate? Can I automate this? Can I automate that? And usually there is a way that you can automate a system.
Well, the payment thing is like music to my ears. I used to, for my entire practice, just do flat fee, all paid up front. But the economy, the way it is, the last couple of months, everyone's wants payment plans, and I understand. So I'm doing now. I'm getting used to creating invoices each time, and it takes up like so much time. And I don't know.
No, I don't have to spend any time. Literally, it takes me less than a minute. After I do my consult with the client, I just go into Monday. I add. Let's say there's 2 services. Maybe I need an N400, maybe I need a FOIA or whatever. Click, add the service, click, review the contract, click, send. That's it. And everything else is done. Like I select the payment plan in Monday, I select the services in Monday, and it's just automated with reminders to the client if they forget to sign, if they forget to pay the deposit, fully automated.
You know, we got a bunch of cases this week, and like I have to make 4 contracts, and my associate had 2, other associate had 3, and all of us are so busy just doing the contract, get out to get paid. Is so, but if you put it, I got to do it. I'll be following up.
I know, that's what I love. Like, you know, I know, and of course it's not perfect, right? Every now and then there are little bugs that you have to, like something goes wrong one day, and like, oh my God, you know, but obviously, you know, my team is just loves the system, and I love it because it's so easy for us all to use. It's so fast. I love things that are fast.
Yeah, it saves time because I hear you. And more time you save, your prices go down to accommodate people, all that kind of stuff. Do you use a CRM system to collect data?
Yeah, I have a CRM in Monday. Monday is my CRM. So So like I said, it all starts with a client or a potential lead phone call. And all we need is their name, email, and phone number. We enter that into a Calendly link. And from there, they get entered into our Monday CRM, where we are able to follow up with them and automate the next steps.
And do you have a newsletter that you put out?
I do. Yeah, I use Mailchimp, and I do have a newsletter that I send out monthly to clients through Mailchimp. Yeah.
If I was on Mailchimp and I switched to MailerLite, I think there was like Mailchimp prices were starting to like go higher depending on how many things you have or how many people you have. So I was like, I use Mailchimp, but I still, Mailchimp has a lot of free things like the landing page you create, and so there's a lot of options. I still have Mailchimp because I use it for certain things. These websites, you can create websites within Mailchimp. It's like the software is crazy. You still have to hire 10 people to do the stuff that one website will do.
I know. Yeah, I haven't even looked into that, but you're right. It is so amazing all the things you could do. Yeah, and I also use Jotform. Jotform is an online questionnaire system, and I have that integrated in Monday as well. So the moment like we start our cases off with a screening with my legal assistant first before they even get offered a consultation with me, because I'm being a lot more selective with the cases that I want to take. So everybody who calls, as long as it's an immigration matter, they get booked for a screening with my legal assistant, who just finds out what they want and then says to them, okay, now you can book a consultation with the attorney because this is the type of case we want to take. But before they do the consultation with me, and even before we do the screening, they automatically get emailed a link to click on that opens up a Jotform questionnaire, which is really easy for them to answer. They can answer it on their phone or on their computer. And it it really helps us because Jotform has conditional logic. So for example, if the question says, have you ever had a deportation order ever in the past? And if they say yes, it'll open up a new series of questions saying, when was this? What happened? You know, that kind of thing. And we don't make anything mandatory. Like, I don't want to force people to answer questions if they're not comfortable with answering it because they don't know me yet, right? So it's not mandatory, but if they don't answer anything or they don't answer all, our screener, that's their job, is to help them fill out that questionnaire so that I can then review that prior to the consultation.
Interesting. Jotform, I mean, Google has their own question and answer, but Jotform is just a smoother process. I've used the free version.
And it integrates really nicely with Monday. So some of that information we capture in Monday. For example, how did you find us, right? You know, they found us through Google or a referral. What country are you from? Like, all of this is stats that I like to track on where people are finding me, where they're from, their country of origin. So I have all that in my Monday database.
You know, one thing to talk about the logic for Jotform. One question that more and more people are asking is like, how they just email me and say, how much is a marriage green card case? And I historically have never said this until I have a consultation. One, because there could be nuances to the case, so it's not good to say a price and then try to change it later. They might get offended. Secondly, usually if people do ask for the price, they price something, they're never going to hire me, so it's like a waste of time to say we don't. But at the same time, maybe I create a Jotform where they could go through it and answer questions to get to a range of what price could be depending on, was this K1 is married, is there 601A waiver, or this and that, and give an estimate. And maybe by going through the process, one is I collect their email address, and two, they might get more connected with my firm, my logo there, because they shared all this information.
We've actually, I've even given the approval to my legal assistant because I kind of do want the potential client to know a little bit about the price range they're looking at, right? Because I don't mind if they have a basic, let's say it's a marriage adjustment case, and you know, according to their questionnaire, the client might say, so what do you charge for this? I don't mind my screener to say, well, we charge approximately X amount. You know, it's going to be based on the complexity of your case. The attorney will discuss this with you during the consultation, but at least they have kind of a range idea, right? Because sometimes, you know, and I've actually used that to kind of judge whether this person is really interested. And occasionally I might even offer them a free consultation in the rare case where my screener says, you know what, I mentioned the price, they're totally okay with it. They you know, they want to talk to you. And if it's what appears to be a clean case, we can never know for sure, right?
Yeah, you never know.
But if on paper it looks good, like maybe it's a basic fiance visa, it's a basic green card case, I don't mind spending 15 minutes with them on the phone. And once I kind of talk to them a little bit, if I feel that there's some complications, I might say, you know what, I think we have a bit of history here. I think you'd really benefit from a consultation with me. I'd like to book this and we can go over it, blah, blah, blah. So, and occasionally, you know, they have really appreciated that 15 minutes of so-called free conversation. And usually those people will sign up with me.
Now, regarding calendar, and I appreciate your time with it. We've been almost half an hour now, but a lot of people talk about Acuity. I use Calendly myself too, and Calendly's adding all these features, which is going outside my understanding. I just pretty much basic stuff. But have you tried Acuity? Do you know?
I have, and Acuity can also work with my Monday system. However, Calendly does seem to have a more robust open API. It does seem to have more features. I also recently read how Calendly was invented by an immigrant, I believe from
Nigeria or something
a country
like
in South Africa. Yeah, really interesting guy who invented Calendly. So I'm kind of a Calendly person. I don't know. It's kind of like, are you into Gmail or Outlook, right? I'm into Calendly.
So I read your new article that you put for the new website. You're a Gmail person as well. You have
I am. Yeah, I've always liked Gmail. Yeah, I tried Outlook for a couple of years, didn't like it at all. I love Gmail.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, I sometimes see lawyers still have Gmail email addresses. It's only like $4 a month to have it where you have your URL.
Right. So it's not expensive, right? Yeah. If you're gonna have Gmail, get the business suite. Pay that extra $5 per person or $6 per person or whatever it is now for all your team members to have their own Gmail accounts. And you must do that if you're going to integrate your Gmail with Monday. It has to be a business suite style email if you want to integrate it with Monday.
Oh, that's good to know. Well, Nadine, thank you so much. Your article is coming out in the next issue of the Toolbox. Hopefully, we'll get out
Yeah, I really
article.
want, I'm looking forward to the readers reading all about my document collection tool.
Thank you, Nadine. Have a great one.
All
I
right.
appreciate it. Hope to talk to you
Okay,
soon.
take care. Bye.